Fifth house or Prabha, Radiance for Taurus Rising, Part 1. Virgo in the fifth house brings earthy precision and intellectual discrimination to the domain of creative intelligence. Taurus, ruled by Venus, seeks beauty, comfort, and stability, while Virgo, ruled by Mercury, introduces analysis, structure, and a need for usefulness into self-expression. The result is a native who expresses love, creativity, and intellect with careful thought and a desire to serve. Their joy is not spontaneous but cultivated, not flashy but refined, seeking radiance through excellence, craftsmanship, and quiet competence. This house activates at ages 5, 17, 29, 41, 53, 65, and 77. Virgo's influence here makes intelligence practical and creative pursuits goal-oriented. These individuals tend to enjoy detail-heavy hobbies, writing, editing, organizing, designing, where beauty is born from refinement. They often show affection through acts of service or thoughtful feedback, expressing warmth through intelligent engagement. In romance, they are selective and discerning, sometimes appearing reserved, but loyal and invested once trust is established. Their creativity is grounded, often emerging through improvement, repair, or mastery. Joy is earned through the satisfaction of doing things correctly and with care. Mercury, ruling this house, makes the native highly analytical about matters of the heart. Romantic inclinations are filtered through reason. They must understand before they trust and organize before they commit. Their intelligence is expressed through discernment, clever commentary, and a tendency to question what others accept blindly. With children, they may adopt the role of teacher or corrector, nurturing through guidance, detail, and mental stimulation. Their love language is intelligent presence, showing up with insight, solutions, and thoughtful contributions rather than grand emotional gestures. Emotionally, they may struggle with overthinking joy or intellectualizing love. Pleasure can be delayed or dissected until its spontaneity is lost. They feel safest in situations where logic supports emotion, where there is clarity, consistency, and mutual growth. Love, creativity, and play are approached with the same seriousness as work. Their radiance increases when they learn to balance perfectionism with flow, letting go of the need to improve everything and simply allowing joy to emerge unedited. Physiologically, Virgo in the fifth house connects creative and emotional energy with the digestive system, lower heart area, and central abdomen. When emotionally blocked or creatively stifled, it often shows up as digestive stress or hormonal imbalance. Their inner light dims when they feel unproductive or disorganized. Practices like journaling, conscious eating, or methodical creative routines can reset their sense of personal joy. Their peace comes from order and rhythm, not rigidity, but a crafted, living flow that nourishes both body and mind. Early learning experiences may have emphasized correctness, order, or being useful. They may have been praised for being mature for their age, or taught to suppress emotional spontaneity in favor of structured expression. As adults, they rediscover the joy of play through structured creativity, like design, dance, teaching, or analysis. They often find pride in guiding others toward practical self-expression, turning their own process of refinement into a model of empowered intelligence. At age 5, they display early signs of conscientiousness, often drawn to puzzles, sorting, or intellectual games. By 17, they may express love through skill, seeking to impress not with flash, but through competence and consistency. At 29, their creative or parental roles evolve through mentorship, detail, and service. By 41, they seek to merge heart and habit, discovering that the most radiant expressions are not always perfect, but sincere, organized, and real. Professionally, this placement supports roles in editing, teaching, child development, health communication, or technical writing. Creative radiance for Taurus Rising is not flamboyant. It is quietly brilliant, useful, and enduring. Their mind is a craftsperson's mind, one that finds satisfaction in polishing, perfecting, and offering intelligence as a service. They shine when their words bring clarity, their hands create beauty, and their love improves the lives they touch. Fifth house or Prabha, the radiance of Taurus Rising. When Mercury and Venus conjoin in the fifth house, love and intellect unite in graceful creativity. Mercury lends wit, precision, and skill, while Venus infuses the mind with harmony, artistic taste, and relational ease. These natives express affection with refined charm, articulate love, and deep appreciation for aesthetics. They may write beautifully, teach with elegance, or parent through gentle correction and subtle encouragement. Their creative intelligence is both graceful and sharp, often expressed in design, literature, or education. Joy flourishes in calm beauty, intelligent conversation, and mutual refinement. Sun and Mercury together form a radiant intellect focused on clarity, leadership, and thoughtful articulation. The Sun provides identity and confidence. Mercury brings articulation and analytical clarity. These individuals express ideas with self-assured presence and often find roles as mentors, teachers, or performers. Their intelligence becomes a source of influence, especially in guiding young minds or shaping moral clarity. Creative confidence comes from knowing their ideas matter and that their voice is both precise and respected. Mercury and Jupiter in conjunction here produce a rare blend of detailed insight and expansive wisdom. Mercury sharpens the practical edge of intelligence. Jupiter elevates the mind toward ethical, spiritual, or academic excellence. These natives are natural teachers, combining logic with philosophical breadth. In romantic and parental roles, they uplift others through explanation, fairness, and understanding. They often raise thoughtful, articulate children or engage in creative work that combines realism with vision. Their joy is felt in meaningful dialogue and intellectual generosity. Venus and Jupiter, together in Virgo, refine love and purpose into an elegant form of service. Venus brings affection, style, and sensual appreciation. Jupiter infuses this with moral depth, generosity, and joyful expansion. These natives often love through giving, whether wisdom, attention, or material comfort. In parenting, they raise thoughtful, ethically minded children. In romance, they seek devotion that grows through shared values and thoughtful acts. Their creativity often carries a gentle moral message, beauty that heals, love that uplifts. Sun and Jupiter in conjunction bring forth radiant moral authority and expansive creative leadership. The Sun asserts identity and confidence. Jupiter expands ethical presence and vision. These individuals often become visible guides, whether in education, mentoring, or artistic leadership. Their creations carry weight, and their ideas carry values. They approach children, romance, or education with warmth and clarity of purpose. Their creative radiance comes from principled joy, expressing not just talent, but conscience, not just brilliance, but blessing. Moon and Mercury together here produce emotional clarity and thoughtful nurturing. The Moon softens Mercury's sharp edges, while Mercury organizes the Moon's emotional tides. These individuals articulate their feelings with care and respond with intellectual attunement. As parents, they listen, observe, and guide gently. In romance, they prefer emotional depth expressed in everyday details and soft words. Their creativity flourishes when heart and mind are in sync, often expressed through writing, care-based teaching, or emotionally intelligent storytelling. Moon and Jupiter in the fifth house deepen nurturing intelligence with warmth, wisdom, and protective grace. The Moon offers intuition and emotional adaptability. Jupiter expands faith and emotional strength. These natives bring a nourishing quality to their relationships and creative work. As parents or mentors, they inspire through care and values. Their joy comes from giving, of wisdom, time, or gentle love. Their radiance is felt in homes and classrooms, in affectionate counsel and heartfelt guidance. Sun and Venus together create a poised, confident magnetism within the sphere of creativity and romance. The Sun's regal presence merges with Venus's refined love, creating an aura of grace and command. These natives express affection with elegance and expect relationships to be both dignified and delightful. They shine in visual arts, fashion, performance, or teaching with personal flair. Their children may be raised with aesthetic taste and moral strength. Their creative brilliance lies in their ability to dignify beauty and infuse radiance with values. Fifth house or Prabhava, Radiance for Virgo Rising, Part 1. Capricorn in the fifth house brings structure, discipline, and realism to the realm of creative intelligence. Virgo, ruled by Mercury, is analytical, practical, and detail-oriented, while Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, lends seriousness, responsibility, and an enduring approach to joy, romance, and learning. This pairing creates a native whose intelligence is applied with purpose and whose creativity is governed by utility. Joy is not spontaneous but built patiently. They feel most radiant when their creative expression serves a goal, and when love or parenting reflects maturity, loyalty, and long-term vision. This house activates at ages 5, 17, 29, 41, 53, 65, and 77. Capricorn's influence in the fifth house lends gravity and precision to intellectual and romantic pursuits. These individuals often approach creativity like a craft, something to be developed through repetition and effort. They are rarely flamboyant. Instead, their expression is refined, reserved, and intentional. Their artistic sensibilities may be architectural, musical, or literary, focused more on mastery than spontaneity. In love, they tend to be cautious but deeply loyal once trust is earned. They offer devotion through consistency and structure, not grand gestures. Saturn as the ruler of this house instills a methodical, measured intelligence. These individuals often learn through responsibility and may take on adult roles early in life. Their creative confidence is gradual, emerging as they prove their competence over time. In parenting, they are serious, principled, and intent on preparing children for life. Their intelligence shines in formats that demand patience and planning, such as classical training, mentorship, or systemic thinking. They find joy in order, progress, and quiet accomplishments. Emotionally, they approach joy as something earned through discipline. They may struggle to access childlike playfulness or feel guilty about indulging in pleasure unless it feels productive. Love may be slow to develop, but gains strength through reliability. They tend to bond through shared goals or mutual respect. Romance for them is a serious contract rather than an emotional roller coaster. Their joy expands when they permit themselves to rest, laugh, and create without a deadline, letting go of the inner critic long enough to enjoy what they've built. Physiologically, Capricorn in the fifth house connects creativity and emotional output to the knees, bones, and skeletal alignment. Suppressed joy or repressed romantic energy can show up in rigidity, both physically and emotionally. Practices like yoga, posture work, or classical dance may integrate structure with flow. Structured routines that include room for artistic practice or small rituals of joy help restore emotional flexibility. Their peace comes not from chaos, but from reliable frameworks that allow creativity to emerge steadily. In early learning or romance, they may have encountered pressure to be serious, responsible, or emotionally contained. Their talents may have gone unnoticed unless they were productive or outcome-driven. As adults, they must learn that joy need not be justified. Their radiance lies in showing others how structure can be liberating, how loyalty can be romantic, and how consistency itself can be an act of deep love. At age 5, they may have shown early signs of maturity or a preference for structured play. By 17, they begin to understand love as duty, often drawn to older or more grounded partners. At 29, they begin to lead or parent with seriousness, finding joy in mentorship and legacy. By 41, they reclaim their inner child not through rebellion, but through carefully designed freedom. Their intelligence becomes radiant when it guides others to build what lasts. This placement supports careers in architecture, education, classical arts, systems design, or legacy-based mentoring. They are not impulsive creators, but wise builders of creative systems. Their love is enduring, their wisdom hard-earned, and their brilliance lies in showing that true joy, like true intelligence, is not fleeting, but forged. Fifth house or Prabhava, the radiance of Virgo rising, part 2? When Saturn and Mercury conjoin in the fifth house, discipline meets precision in the field of intelligence. Saturn brings structure, patience, and endurance. Mercury offers intellect, articulation, and adaptability. Together, they form a yoga for methodical brilliance, supporting roles like editors, educators, or strategists. These natives often develop slowly but become masters of their craft, especially in analytical, educational, or technical domains. Love is expressed through planning, thoughtful conversation, and service. If afflicted, this conjunction can bring overthinking in romance, rigid expectations in parenting, or suppressed creativity due to self-doubt. Saturn and Jupiter in conjunction bring moral gravity and wisdom to expression. Saturn lays the foundation, Jupiter builds the philosophy. This pairing can form a Dharma-Karma Adipati yoga when Jupiter rules the 7th and Saturn the 5th, indicating creative or romantic maturity that expresses through mentorship, pedagogy, or slow but meaningful growth. These natives may guide others through conservative but ethical teaching. If afflicted, it can create internal tension between idealism and realism, leading to emotional withdrawal or fear of failure in creative or romantic endeavors. Mercury and Jupiter together in Capricorn synthesize logic and vision. Mercury supplies detail and communication. Jupiter expands into purpose and learning. These individuals may excel in long-form writing, structured mentorship, or value-driven intellectual pursuits. When well-placed, this conjunction results in articulate wisdom, refined humor, and a pragmatic but philosophical approach to love and education. When poorly placed, however, it may bring misalignment between big-picture ideals and the pressure to deliver perfection, especially in romantic or artistic work. Saturn and Venus in the fifth bring restraint, elegance, and a duty-bound approach to love and creativity. Saturn stabilizes and slows. Venus beautifies and refines. This yoga often produces creators with minimalistic, classical, or refined aesthetic sense, those who invest time into crafting enduring beauty. Romantically, they may appear reserved, but are capable of deep loyalty and steady affection. In parenting, they emphasize discipline with affection. When afflicted, this pairing can cause emotional repression, fear of vulnerability, or romantic coldness masked by stoic charm. Sun and Saturn together here bring maturity and authority to the creative self. The Sun infuses identity and visibility. Saturn instills responsibility and focus. If well placed, this can result in a strong leadership role in education or the arts, especially in structured or classical formats. The native may become a dignified teacher, mentor, or parent who leads by example. If afflicted, however, it can suppress spontaneity, create self-doubt, or delay recognition, leading to a strained relationship with personal joy. Venus and Mercury in conjunction bring elegant intelligence and refined expression. Venus grants aesthetic sense, Mercury communicates it. These individuals often express joy through writing, music, design, or teaching that blends beauty with clarity. In romance, they are thoughtful, affectionate, and considerate, valuing consistency and tasteful connection over drama. This is a yoga for graceful creative work and subtle charm. If afflicted, however, it can make love overly intellectualized or creativity dependent on external approval. Moon and Saturn together in this house create a deeply reflective and emotionally reserved disposition. The Moon offers emotion. Saturn adds weight and discipline. These natives may develop emotional maturity early in life and express love through commitment rather than overt warmth. In parenting or mentoring roles, they nurture through structure and guidance. When well placed, this pairing grants quiet emotional resilience. When afflicted, it may cause emotional withdrawal, inner isolation, or fear of romantic vulnerability. Sun and Mercury conjoined here sharpen self-expression and structured communication. The Sun gives authority to thought. Mercury gives agility and analysis. This yoga supports teaching, public speaking, or systematic creative output. The native may be a respected educator, planner, or advisor. In love, they prefer transparency and mutual respect over emotional intensity. If afflicted, this pairing can make the native overly critical, prideful about their intelligence, or emotionally unavailable due to excessive analysis. Overall, Capricorn in the fifth for Virgo risings creates yogas that reward consistency, delay gratification, and elevate effortful growth over flair. The challenge lies in balancing order with inspiration. When these natives learn that joy is not something to perfect, but to experience, they radiate wisdom forged through time. Fifth house, or Prabhava, Radiance for Capricorn rising, Part 1. Taurus in the fifth house brings sensuality, stability, and aesthetic grounding into the realm of creative intelligence. Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, is structured, goal-oriented, and pragmatic, while Taurus, ruled by Venus, softens the emotional landscape with grace, patience, and a deep appreciation for comfort and beauty. This pairing creates a native whose joy emerges through consistency, tactile experience, and emotionally secure environments. Their creativity is steady and refined, their romance loyal and affectionate, and their intelligence expressed through practical artistry. This house activates at ages 5, 17, 29, 41, 53, 65, and 77. Taurus here stabilizes the creative mind and anchors the emotional body. These individuals tend to develop skills that require patience and craftsmanship: gardening, cooking, music, finance, architecture, or design. Their intelligence favors systems and rhythm, and they learn through repetition, embodiment, and hands-on creation. Emotional and creative expression is slow to bloom, but deep and enduring. They prefer quiet beauty over bold experimentation and are often drawn to the comforting rituals of art, nature, or tradition. Venus, as ruler of this house, bestows artistic taste, sensual awareness, and a calm demeanor in romance and learning. These natives exude emotional warmth when they feel safe, and their affections are expressed in physical care, loyalty, and aesthetic appreciation. In love, they are affectionate but reserved, seeking reliability over drama. In parenting or mentoring, they offer emotional steadiness, values-based nurturing, and protection through provision. Their creativity is rooted in the physical world. They build beauty, preserve it, and take pride in its durability. Emotionally, joy is connected to predictability, beauty, and physical comfort. These individuals thrive in calm surroundings where their senses can be indulged without disruption. Sudden changes in love or creative routine can destabilize them, making them slow to recover or adapt. They may take time to trust their own brilliance or to initiate romantic gestures, but once grounded, they become deeply expressive. Their radiance builds through emotional consistency and appreciation, not through applause, but through quiet reverence. Physiologically, Taurus in the fifth connects creativity and joy to the throat, voice, and sensory system. Their brilliance may emerge through voice-based arts, music, or tactile creation. Emotional tension may manifest as a blocked throat, digestive heaviness, or sensory overload. Healing comes through rhythm, ritual, and sensory integration. Singing, slow movement, cooking, or sculpting can restore joy. Their peace lies in beauty they can touch, taste, or tend to over time, not perform but preserve. In early learning or romance, they may have been shy, cautious, or emotionally reserved. They may have felt safest when surrounded by stability, warm meals, nature, music, or dependable caregivers. Their creativity likely emerged through imitation, repetition, or care-based play. As adults, they reclaim joy by trusting the slow rhythm of their growth. They do not burst into brilliance. They settle into it, rooting joy like a garden cultivated with time and devotion. At age 5, they may explore through touch, song, or simple rituals. By 17, they are drawn to romantic constancy and expressions of loyalty. At 29, they may channel creative energy into something lasting, whether parenting, design, or a creative business. By 41, they discover that joy is not a rush but a return, a circle of care, value, and grounded beauty that only deepens with time. This placement supports careers in music, finance, sustainable art, agriculture, voice work, or any field where tangible beauty and emotional steadiness matter. They are not dramatic creators. They are preservers of value, builders of calm, and teachers of slow grace. Their radiance is enduring, quiet, and lush, like a steady flame that nourishes rather than dazzles. Fifth house or Prabhava, the radiance of Capricorn Rising. When Venus and Mercury conjoin in the fifth house, refined intelligence meets articulate beauty. Venus lends aesthetic charm, sensual awareness, and relational ease. Mercury offers clarity, wit, and expressive skill. This yoga supports graceful communication, lyrical expression, and talent in music, singing, or financial strategy. These natives are often soft-spoken creators or romantic thinkers who value thoughtful affection. If well placed, this pairing produces tasteful expression and stable joy in love and learning. If afflicted, it can lead to over-intellectualization of feelings, passive aggressiveness in romance, or an inability to act on creative desires. Venus and Moon in Taurus in the fifth house create an emotionally fertile and artistically rich yoga. The Moon brings receptivity and feeling. Venus adds beauty and the capacity to indulge the senses. Together, they produce powerful nurturing instincts and a love of comfort, food, rhythm, or nature-based creativity. This combination is especially beneficial for parenting or guiding others with tenderness and warmth. If positively placed, it grants romantic devotion and artistic consistency. If afflicted, it may result in emotional inertia, possessiveness, or a tendency to cling to comfort at the expense of growth. Venus and Saturn form a yoga of dignified love and serious artistic discipline. Venus offers creative flow and pleasure. Saturn brings structure, longevity, and realism. In Capricorn rising charts with Taurus in the fifth, this pairing indicates a capacity for refined endurance in artistic work, such as classical music, sculptural arts, or financial aesthetics. Romantically, they are cautious but loyal, preferring slow-building partnerships. When benefic, it creates mature love, committed parenting, and timeless creativity. When afflicted, it can bring delays in romance, fear of vulnerability, or emotional coldness masked as stability. Moon and Mercury together yield a yoga of emotionally intelligent speech and thoughtful care. The Moon provides intuition and feeling. Mercury structures that into language and comprehension. This pairing supports storytelling, teaching, or parenting through emotionally aware reasoning. In love, these natives are gentle communicators, seeking understanding over passion. If well placed, they become emotionally attuned creators or educators. If afflicted, their mood may overwhelm their logic, leading to confusion in romantic communication or emotional inconsistency with children. Venus and Jupiter together in the 5th house combine artistic grace with expansive values. Venus expresses through harmony and beauty. Jupiter adds meaning, joy, and ethical direction. These individuals love generously and create with a moral or spiritual undertone. This yoga supports roles in value-driven art, spiritual mentorship, or aesthetic education. In romance, they seek both sensual and philosophical compatibility. When afflicted, it may create overindulgence in pleasure or unrealistic expectations in love and parenting. Mars and Venus in conjunction here intensify sensual energy and creative drive. Mars provides initiative, physicality, and assertion. Venus softens with beauty and relational appeal. Together, they create magnetic artistic expression, dance, design, or hands-on creation with visible impact. In romance, this pairing can bring passionate, tactile connection, but also potential for volatility or possessiveness. If well expected, it inspires active, beautiful creation. If afflicted, it may produce romantic impulsivity, jealousy, or burnout in creative output. Jupiter and Mercury together in the 5th house give the native a grounded, yet expansive intelligence. Mercury offers structure and detail. Jupiter enhances optimism and wisdom. This yoga supports articulate guidance, structured writing, and financial wisdom with a philosophical tone. These individuals are often drawn to teaching values through pragmatic means. When benefic, this combination brings confident learning and a joyful mind. If afflicted, it may result in scattered thinking or a conflict between practicality and idealism, particularly in love or speculative ventures. Sun and Venus conjoining in the 5th house infuse the native with charisma, aesthetic radiance, and expressive magnetism. The Sun brings self-expression and clarity. Venus adds warmth, beauty, and creativity. This yoga supports performance arts, fashion, romance with dignity, or refined leadership in artistic spaces. Their children may be taught elegance, taste, and pride in presentation. If afflicted, however, this pairing can bring vanity, love of status over substance, or emotional disappointment when admiration isn't reciprocated. Moon and Jupiter in Taurus create a nurturing, expansive emotional radiance. The Moon contributes emotional depth. Jupiter lends moral warmth and a desire to uplift. This yoga favors generous parenting, peaceful creative environments, and emotionally secure romantic bonds. These natives may express joy through caretaking, cooking, or devotional arts. When afflicted, emotional overindulgence or dependence on external reassurance may reduce their sense of grounded peace. For Capricorn risings, Taurus in the 5th produces yogas that favor elegant perseverance, sensory richness, and enduring value. Their challenge lies in letting pleasure coexist with progress, learning that joy is not a distraction from success, but its sustenance. When they honor their need for peace, texture, and time-tested connection, they radiate a steady brilliance, like fine art or well-aged wine, subtle, lasting, and deeply satisfying.